Hello everybody, it's Stewart Swerdlow for Expansions.com, and this is the first week of June 2014, and this is our news podcast. And guess what? I have a special guest. Hello everybody, I'm Janet. Well, remember that when I was away in Japan, I had my image next to Janet, and I'm going to do poop stories and sex stories. No, you're not going to do that because I'm not going to let you. Oh, yes, I am. No, you're not. Well, took care of that pretty quick. Well, I can't do that to her. She'll get angry when she sees this, and of course, I hope none of you tell her. Oh, yes, they will. No, they're not going to tell you anything. Anyway, back to me. Okay, can you just be quiet for a little bit? No, I want you to be quiet for a little bit. Well, we'll see how long that lasts. Sorry, people, for the interference. But Janet is gone for a couple of days. She'll be back next week, but I'll be gone because I will be in New York doing my seminar and consultations at the Meta Center. And please contact Patricia at customersupport@expansions.com if you would like to see me there. I know that the consultations are getting booked, so you have just really a couple of days to get that done. In fact, I'll be packing by the time you see this. Now, let me go right into the news stories because I have a few of them for you today. Now that I will not be interfered with for a bit of time. First story is about India, and as you have heard on the news, all about those constant gang rapes that are going on there. This time, there were two female cousins who were raped and hung by a tree to death by three male cousins, not related to them. For some reason, India is targeted for these sex attacks. Almost every week you hear about this for the past couple of years. Why is this? Well, according to CNN and Fox News and BBC and all the others, all these protests that you now see on the streets of India related to these rapes are about cultural change. As you know, India is a very strict society as far as religion and authority is concerned. People do not report crimes, especially those of rape. And so they're trying to change the culture of India. Remember, it's 1.2 billion people. It's the second most populous country in the world after China. And so they want to change the way the culture is in India so it's more accommodating to the New World Order. And in order to do that, they have to publicly and globally embarrass them by showing these rapes all over India every week practically. And right next door is Pakistan. Now, what have we seen in Pakistan in the last couple of months? Well, let's see. We had, a few months ago, a 10-year-old boy beheaded by the Taliban for being a spy for the West. We had the Pakistani police arrest a 9-month-old boy for attacking them. And now we have the story of a family who killed a pregnant woman, their own daughter, for marrying a man they didn't like. Now, at first, you thought, how sad. The police were standing by watching. What kind of a society is Pakistan? But then we find out that the woman's husband killed his first wife to be with her. So you know what, people? They kind of got what they deserved. I'm sorry to say it, but, this is really ridiculous. And my question is, how much money do we give to Pakistan every year in order to support this kind of society? Killing married, pregnant women, murdering wives to marry another one, arresting infants, beheading toddlers, and we give them money. Now, people, I have nothing against Islamic societies, but this is a little ridiculous in any society. On the other continent of Africa, we find a pregnant Sudanese woman, a Christian woman, who was arrested and sentenced to death because she married a Christian man and refused to renounce her faith. Now, last I heard just a day or two ago, the Sudanese government is willing to release her and let her go Could it be because the U.S. has put pressure economically on Sudan? Well, we give Sudan, the U.S., $300 million a year in aid. That doesn't really sound like a lot, but for Sudan it is. And we also find that just to the west of Sudan, far to the west, is the Boko Haram incident going on in Nigeria, where those 300 young girls were kidnapped from their school and being held hostage, maybe raped, sold into slavery. What's going on? It obviously is a ploy by the West to make Islam look very, very bad. And so they are creating these stories in Africa and Asia and even parts of Europe to make the Islamic culture and society be a target so that the new crusades can continue against them. And I am sure that in the next few weeks and months we will see more such horrific stories appearing from North Africa, Middle East, across Asia into Southeast Asia, etc. Wherever there is Islam, we will find stories of a horrific nature against children, against women, etc. And that will continue forward. Now, here's something, it could almost be comical, but the topic is not comical. And that is Malaysian Flight 370. What did I tell you? I said they didn't find it on the ocean floor because it's not there. Well, the search has been called off for now because now they say it's not in the southern Indian Ocean. Really? Like, duh, as I always say. I said that 3 months ago. The thing is not there. They said that the radar pings that they heard in the South Indian Ocean actually were not from the plane, but were coming from the search vessels themselves. Okay, seriously? They have to come up with a better story than that. I would actually now have a more belief in the alien kidnapping version and the vortex opening version over the Malaysian area that swooped up the plane. I'm still going to say that now, when they have the staged alien invasion, which I think any second, they're going to say, yeah, the plane was taken by aliens and that's why we couldn't find it. So, the story's pretty much dropped in the global news right now. The families are told to go home, go away, leave us alone. No more stories coming out from that. Very sad to think that almost 300 people aboard this 777 airliner, one of the most modern on the world, just vanishes without a trace, and nobody knows where it is. But of course the governments do know where it is because they did it. Now, two more local news. A sinkhole has swallowed part of a Florida shopping center. Well, most of Florida is disappearing by sinkholes opening up. And I've warned you, I've told you, people in Florida, I would not live there. I would not spend too much time there because sooner or later, if you're in an area in the central and southern part of Florida, sinkholes are going to open up. In fact, they're happening in other places. We're seeing also quakes occurring in Kansas. Now people, Kansas, earthquakes, it's unheard of. But I told you about the North American creton, which is becoming very active. And this is due to the stress that's occurring in the Gulf of Mexico and the Caribbean. Many quakes opening up in the Caribbean area. And we will also see this continuing into the Gulf region from Florida to Texas up to Kansas, even all the way across to North Carolina. The whole area is starting to sink and shake. Actually, that could be what do you think? That could be like a new restaurant chain, Sink and Shake. Oh, I don't like the idea. Well, I'll just do it without you then. Now, Big Brother in New York City, and I want you to watch the link that I have on this podcast. It says that cameras will determine how many people are in a building, the gender of the people, the age of the people, how many shopping bags they have walking on the street, etc. And the idea of this, according to this news broadcast, is to better serve the public so that they know how many people to expect in a restaurant, how many people are going to be crossing the street for traffic. Really, because I think that it is all a bunch of mind control and manipulation. And many, many years ago, I had read a report, and I'm talking back in the 70s, early 80s, where the alien beings had a device that pointed at a building, would tell them how many people were in there, the age, the gender, etc. And here we are in 2014 getting this on CNN or wherever, or Fox News, wherever I found this. Same information, obviously alien technology that I read about many years ago. So yes, Big Brother is here now. It's not to serve you. And that was really funny when it says it's to serve the public. That reminded me of the Twilight Zone show where the aliens come down and they give them this big book to help people. It's called To Serve Man, and they translate it. And meanwhile, all the aliens are taking these humans back to their planet. They said to help them. And then this guy translates it, and he runs and he says, the book is a cookbook to serve man. It's a cookbook. Yes, people, that's what these cameras are about. Another disturbing situation occurred here in Michigan just this past week. A 59-year-old Michigan teacher was suspended for teaching about how in the 20th century, the first part of the 20th century, white actors and singers would dress a blackface, they'd paint their face black, in order to sing as a black person. Now the school system said that this supported racism and separatism. Meanwhile, this teacher has been teaching for 36 years. He was retiring this year. He's no longer allowed to attend his own retirement functions because he taught true history. He didn't say it was good. He just said this is what happened. There was nothing wrong with it. This is proof of how real history is being blocked and suppressed by the government. A teacher of 36 years telling you what happened, and he's suspended for it. Very sad, people. Well, that's basically all I have for you right now. I've been very busy because I'm alone without you, Janet. It's very lonely and sad without you. And so I've had to take care of everything on my own, and it's been very hectic, and that's about all the news I have for you. But I am sure that next week, Janet will be here giving you what? Oh, stories about sex and poop and things like that. And butt plugs. Don't forget the butt plugs. They're very important. So yeah, wait till next week and you'll get an earful, I am sure. And I'm sure my picture will be here, and retribution, I am sure, will happen. But then again, that's what this is, so what can I say? Just to remind you, this month, June 6th through the 8th, I will be at the Meta Center. Please contact Patricia at customer support at expansions.com to arrange your attendance. June is going to be a very volatile month, so stay in violet. I hope to see all of you in New York. In August and September, I've just been invited to come back to Iceland and Poland. I was told the Polish people want me there as soon as possible, so first weekend in September, I will be teaching in Poland. So watch the expansions.com website for more information on that. That's all I have for you right now. I will see you when I get back from New York. So, want to say goodbye to everybody? Goodbye, everybody. Bye, everyone.